Greetings, mortals! My name is Caleb, you can call me Lord Moch, and today we're bringing you another new episode of Homebrew Heist. But before we get into it, I just do want to apologize. I did say I was going to try to put out 2 videos on Thursday and Saturday. Life just kind of gets in the way. 60-hour work weeks, weddings with for friends, events for friends' weddings, and all just kind of ridiculous stuff going on, and keeping me busy. But I will say this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a little leeway here and just put out videos as I get them done and not put myself on a timetable. Kind of makes me feel a little, um, just better. Like, I don't have to like struggle. I don't feel bad, if I screw up. So I'm just gonna kind of go with that for right now. And I mean, I'm hoping it'll work. Hopefully, keep my stress level down. But enough of that. Let's talk about our homebrew heist for today. And today I'm going to be bringing you a character that I created. We're going to use all kinds of different homebrew stuff talking about this character. And this character's name is none other than Draven, the Homo Sanguinen Blood Knight fighter. I hope you guys are excited to meet him, and I'm just as excited to talk to you about it. This is not my art. I found it as a loose interpretation. I hopefully one day we'll get a hold of my buddy Crims and have him do some kick butt art for Draven for me. But let's go ahead and start talking about Draven and who he is as a character. So I don't have necessarily like a lot of backstory on Draven, but he is a Homo Sanguinen, which let's go ahead and talk about what that is. And I just realized that I need to like bring up all these things. So Homo Sanguinum is an afflicted person. They are vampires, but they're not vampires. They are creatures of the night that are afflicted with the curse with like a kind of a curse of vampirism, but it's more of a virus and not a curse. So to kind of talk about what some of the racial stats that you'll get by being a Homo Sanguinum. You'll get the ability called Transfusion. You cannot regain HP as usual during a short or long rest and must receive at minimum 1 pint of fresh blood each day or suffer a level exhaustion. If the target of your bite attack is not a construct, plant, ooze, or undead, the damage the target takes reduces its maximum HP by the amount until the end of its short or next short or long rest. And you may spend a hit die and recover HP to its rolled value plus your con modifier. Alternatively, you may choose to bite a willing creature, draining its blood from its body. The target takes no damage, but instead spends hit dice as though they would during a short rest, gaining no HP. Any HP the target would normally gain by spending hit dice in this way, you gain instead. You drain 1 pint of blood for each hit dice spent. So what it's saying here is, Draven cannot regain hit points by taking a short or long rest and spending his hit die, which is, oh my gosh, that could be really bad. But luckily we have the ability to, maybe we have good friends in our group that will let us feed off of them, or my idea for Draven is I'm going to be this up in your face character that's going to do everything I can to feed from my victims. So Draven does have sunlight sensitivity. You have a disadvantage on attack rolls and wisdom perception checks that rely on sight when you, the target of your attack, or whatever you are trying to perceive, is in bright light. In addition, you take 1 radiant damage each round while your skin is exposed to direct sunlight. That is the big reason why we have all this cloak and covering, so we can make sure that Draven, isn't just gonna go out in sunlight and go, it burns. Next is Radiant Aversion. Your body is weakened by even relatively low doses of radiant energy. You have vulnerability to radiant damage and take damage from healing spells with a radiant source equal to the hit points they would normally restore. So if anybody tries to heal me with a radiant spell, I'm going to be taking damage instead, and any radiant damage I would take, it doubles instead of it being normal damage. Dark vision out to 120 feet. I was like, are you shitting me? 120 feet? That's kind of ridiculous. I just want to make sure. Does it actually say that? Hold on. Dark vision. Yeah, 120 feet right there. By the way, as always, guys, if you guys want copies of this information, or if You are the creator of this. I would love to be able to give you the credit that you deserve, so please let me know. I was not able to find the creator of this, but I had to make a video of it because I love this race so much. Sleepless. This is a cool one. Whatever mutation the disease causes within the brain or body, it seems that those afflicted do not require rest in the same way as normal humans. You do not require sleep so long as you have received a transfusion of at least 1 pint of blood in the past 24 hours. That is all. And by the way, I keep saying transfusion. What that means is this virus has given me fangs that I can use to transfuse blood. It's I don't know why they decided to use transfusion. It's interesting, but at the same time, kind of like, okay, it's not really a transfusion. I'm feeding. But blood sense. This is really cool. The disease has made you acutely aware of the flow of blood even within other creatures. You can sense the presence and location of all creatures within 30 feet which have flowing blood. That is cool. Even if I can't see where someone's hiding, I know someone's there. That's freaking awesome. Now, this next one goes towards your ability scores. Now, for a normal Homo Sanguinum, you get a +2 to Constitution, which is awesome. And we've talked about a lot of negatives that this race takes. Well, here's another bonus here. Whenever you make a skill check, attack roll, or saving throw using your chosen ability score of either Strength, Dexterity, or Charisma, which I chose Dexterity, and I get a +2 in that for my race, you may choose to spend a hit die as a free action to gain advantage on that roll. You may use this ability a number of times between long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. So what's that saying is, even since I can't spend my hit die, this is the perfect time for me to be able to spend my hit die. Anytime I do a skill check, anytime I do an attack, anything, any kind of saving throw using Dex, I can spend a hit die and give myself advantage. That is awesome. Now, Heart of Darkness is the next ability. Those who look into your eyes can see that you have a... No, wait. Oh, I apologize. This is part of my background stuff. So for the background, that's all for the racial stats. Now, like I said, this is literally just a vampire. But it's a more interesting take on it, and I liked how it read, so I decided to do this one. I really enjoy this race as a whole, and I think it's got a lot of cool stuff to offer, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. Now, for the background I decided to take the haunted one background. My idea is that, the progenitor of the virus was a vampire. Like they are a true vampire, and they are trying to take all the people that are afflicted by Homo Sanguinum and use them as his own personal army. And to prove his power, he took a bunch of them and killed them, maybe my family or something. And I had to sit there and witness it, and I'm haunted by that, and I've sworn a blood vengeance against them. So that's what I decided to do for that. For all my skills from the background and for the class, I took Intimidation, Survival, Religion, and Acrobatics. So for the most part, I'm pretty much a blood hunter without being a blood hunter. Because my one thing is going to be I want to kill vampires. One of the natural abilities I get is a bite attack, which I get, and by the way, I've leveled this character up all the way to level 20, so we can talk about everything that I would have with this character. So my bite attack right now is at a +10 with 1d6 +4 necrotic damage because I can use my dexterity instead of my strength, and I am a dex-based character, not a strength-based character. I have a 14 in strength, 18 dexterity, 16 constitution, 10 intelligence, 10 wisdom, 14 charisma. Languages, common, elvish, undercommon, abyssal. And let's go ahead and talk about the class. So I decided to take a good friend of mine's homebrew class. Her name is hombrewlesbian. And I decided to check out the Blood Knight class. So, Blood Knights are strange warriors that have mastered the strange ability to draw the blood of their opponents into their weapons to make themselves stronger or their opponents weaker. While many vampires are Blood Knights, they are not the only ones that practice this archetype. Perhaps you have awakened the curse deep within your blood, or were trained by necromantic warriors to unlock your blood rituals. So, Blood mutation, whether by intentional experimentation in biology or strange anomaly, a birth now manifested, your blood and physiology has changed upon gaining this archetype. Starting at third level, you have a set of retractable fangs, which I already have this, so it doesn't really matter. But I now gain advantage on intimidation checks and gain a special melee attack, which I already have the special melee attack. So all that's kind of worthless, except for the fact that I have advantage on intimidation checks. And that was kind of mean. It's not worthless, I just already have it. So, yeah, I mean, Oh, and I did forget to say that as a Homo sanguinum, my base speed is 40 feet. That's going to be very important to know, so we'll come back to that. At third level, I get the esoteric ritual. At third level, you learn the ability to draw the vitality from your opponents for your own benefit. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can sap the creature's reserves. Choose one of the following options. Power, your weapon drains a creature's strength. On your next weapon attack, if you hit, you deal additional necrotic damage equal to your fighter level. Vitality, your weapon drains a creature's health. You gain temporary hit points equal to your fighter level. That's going to be really important for us because we are not going to be able to spend our hit dice to gain HP back. So that temporary HP can mean a lot. Now, at 7th level, we get Opportune Bite. At 7th level, if you make a successful weapon attack, as a bonus action, you may attempt to grapple and bite a creature within 5 feet of you. Again, big thing, because I'm going to need to be able to gain all the HP I can back, because hit dice and a lot of healing is no-go for me. Undead Fortitude, at 10th level, you gain resistance to necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum can't be reduced. Again, very important. Advanced Rituals, at level 15, you learn new methods of increasing your physicality by draining others. You gain the following ways to use your esoteric ritual. Your weapon drains a creature's energy and increases your own. You gain a +2 bonus to your armor class until the start of your next turn. Acuity, your weapon drains a creature's essence. When hit, a creature has disadvantage on their next weapon attack. So we're just getting all kinds of ways to screw over our opponents or to make our vitality even higher than it normally would be. And Ritual Master, at 18th level, you can use your esoteric weapon ability twice per turn. Also, Homebrew Lesbian put in some author's notes here with the Crimson Lord. I don't think this is a problem because it's not that big of an ability. It's not going to be that detrimental. So as a GM, I would allow this. At 18th level, you reduce a creature to 0 hit points. You can use your bonus action to raise the creature from the dead to act as a vampire spawn fighting by your side. The creature dies if reduced to 0 hit points or after 1 minute. You gain this ability after a long rest. So once per long rest, you can, when you take a creature down, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, it's just if you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you don't have to, feed them, feed on them. I might put that in there that you'd have to feed on them because, you're just killing them. Like, that doesn't make, I stab, like, why would you come back as a vampire spawn? I would probably put in that in there. That's the only thing I would consider. But, you get to raise them from the dead, and they stay alive until they've hit 0 hit points, or 1 minute has passed. Not really a big deal. I don't think it's that, broken of an effect. I think it's pretty good, actually. So, Blood Knight, though, a lot of fun. I think this character is going to be a lot of fun. Plus, I was able to make some cool stuff. So, not only are we going to talk about the class and everything that we did there, I'm all the way at level 20. I want to know what kind of items I would want to have, what kind of feats I would want to have, all that kind of good stuff. Now, to get this out of the way real quick, even in 5th edition D&D, the way I play is 3 feet 4 stat. If you do that, and if you do a 3 feet 4 stat rule gameplay system, you cannot pick feats that raise your ability checks. So there are feats that let you increase your strength or constitution or wisdom or blah 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 whatever by +1. If you decide to do that, you cannot take you have to replace your 4th level bonus with that feat. But if you decide to take a feat that offers no bonus to your ability scores, you can get your normal +2 or +1 to 2 stats at level 4. The reason why I do this is because I don't like how there's not enough customization of characters in 5th edition. And A lot of people argue like, well, you're just making your character, you're letting your players be overpowered. All it takes is me throwing a more powerful creature at them, and they're fine. Plus, they get to customize their character a little bit more. So, I think it's completely worth it. So, let's go ahead and talk about what kind of feats that I got for Draven here. Now, the first feat I got was Alert. Just being able to not be, snuck up upon that much. Plus, I got to increase my initiative. I now have +9 initiative. I should always be going first. Always. So, and by the way, these aren't in any in any order. I just reading them off, alphabetically, more than likely. Charger. When you use your action to dash, you can use a bonus action to make one melee weapon attack or to shove a creature. If you move at least 10 feet in a straight line immediately before taking the bonus action, you either gain a +5 bonus to a damage attack roll, if you choose to make a melee attack a hit, or you push the target up to 10 feet away from you. So the big idea for this character is we are dual-wielding swords, and I want to go all over the field and hit as many people as I possibly can. So being able to charge and get a +5 bonus to my damage roll, or push them to where I can have them over next to another opponent and I can keep them in my vicinity, is going to be very important. Now, Defensive Duelist. When you are wielding a finesse weapon with which you are proficient, another creature hits you with a melee attack. You can use a reaction to add your proficiency bonus to your AC for that attack, potentially causing the attack to miss you. Again, very important because we don't want to get hit, because we don't want to lose that HP that we possibly might not get back. Dual Wielder. You master fighting with 2 weapons, gain the following benefits: a +1 to AC. You can use 2 weapon fighting even with one-handed melee weapons you aren't wielding are light. You can draw or stow 2 one-handed weapons when you would normally be able to draw or stow only 1. So again, we're increasing our AC a little bit higher to make it harder to hit us, for a max of 17 unless we get hit. Then we can add our proficiency bonus and make it even harder to hit us. So we're doing everything we can to be an offensive, dirge of an attacker, while at the same time making it so that I will take possibly no damage or, be harder to hit with all of our class features, our abilities, and everything. Mobile. So here's a big thing right here. I told you, for a Homo Sanguinum, your base speed is 40 feet. Base speed is now 50 feet. And when you use the dash action, difficult terrain doesn't cost you any extra movement. Very important. When you make a melee weapon attack against a creature, you don't provoke attacks of opportunity from that creature for the rest of the turn. So if I go up to hit somebody, and there's another person 15 feet away, and I want to hit them, since I've already hit them, and I don't actually have to do damage or not, or I just have to try to hit them, I can move away from them and not provoke that attack of opportunity. Very freaking important. So right now, I have a speed of 50 feet. Ridiculous. And for the last feat that we took is Martial Adept. You have martial training that allows you to perform special combat maneuvers. You gain the following benefits. You get to learn 2 maneuvers from the Battlemaster Archetype Fighter class. I'm not going to go into them. I'm just going to go straight to the maneuvers because the maneuvers are awesome. But the Battlemaster subclass is a normal D&D subclass of fighter where you get maneuvers to be able to use against your opponents to either disarm them or, hit them a little harder or, damage their weapons, that kind of stuff. The 2 maneuvers I decided to take are Lunging Attack. When you make a melee weapon attack on your turn, you can expend 1 superiority die to increase the reach of that attack by 5 feet. If you hit, you add your superiority die to the attack's damage roll. So, I've already made it so that I'm all over the field, but there probably are going to be some instances where I might not be able to hit somebody because, unfortunately, I just couldn't move as much as I wanted to. I now have an extra 5 feet to reach out and hit them. So technically, I can move 55 feet now. I'm not necessarily moving. I'm moving 50 feet and then reaching another 5 feet away to hit somebody that's 10 feet away. Awesome. Now, Sweeping Attack. Now, this is a big one because remember, we could dash and push somebody over next to somebody else. If they stay next to that person the next turn, Sweeping Attack. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to damage another creature with the same attack. We're not talking about a different attack and using up another attack. We're talking about the same attack. Choose another creature within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach. If the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it takes damage equal to the number you roll on your superiority die. The damage is of the same type dealt by the original attack. That is amazing! I love this character. I think he's going to be so much freaking fun to play with. So we've gone over all the feats for Draven here. Now we get to go over some of the coolest stuff, which are Draven's items. And what the heck? There we go. Sorry guys, I gotta move this stuff up so you can see it. The first item we're going to talk about is Draven's uncommon item, which comes from... Did I screw this up? Why is this not coming up? Huh. How did I screw this up? Sorry guys, give me just a second. I'm going to try to fix this. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do this the old hard way. I planned on just being able to click things, but yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to do this the hard way. Give me a second while I bring that up. Okay, so the first item we're going to talk about, if it comes up, is called the Tide Turner. Now, this is, I'm going to go ahead and get my paper over here now. This is an item created by Griffon Saddlebag. I freaking love Griffon Saddlebag stuff. My wife and I bought his book from the Kickstarter. We absolutely love the items that he created. The magical brass timepiece has a pearl from the lunar sea at its top and tells you the phases of the moon, time between dusk and dawn, that's the important one, and time between high and low tides while on the material plane. Other planes may cause the device's various dials to behave differently. For example, on the elemental plane of water, the tide's dial may spin chaotically, whereas the daytime dial may only move based on your location, while on the home plane of fate creatures. So the big thing there that we're wanting to worry about is the time between dusk and dawn, which is going to be very important to us. The next item is going to help us in our ability to bring creatures in for us to consume on the blood that flows through them. It's called the Undertaker's Cloak. Now, the Undertaker's Cloak is trailing from your back, ragged scraps of cloth and bandage seem to float in the ethereal wind, even on the calmest of days. So very edgelord here. As an action, you can speak the cloak's command word using shreds of it to pull away and begin entangling a large or smaller creature you can see within 10 feet of you. The target must succeed on a DC 13 dexterity saving throw or become restrained. While restrained in this way, a target is vulnerable to fire damage and must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw at the start of each turn its turn, or take 1d6 necrotic damage as it slowly becomes mummified. As a bonus action, you can speak the second command word, releasing the target and causing the straps of cloth to fall lifelessly to the ground. A target restrained by the cape can use an action to make a DC 13 strength check, freeing itself on a success. Once the feature has been used, it can't be used again until the following midnight, by which point the cloak has regrown. There is a rare variant that increases the DC to 15 and the damage to 2d6. So literally... and by the way, I'm kind of the opinion that you could start out with a common item in my games that I run. An uncommon item you get between levels 1 through 5. Rare is 6 through 10. Very rare is 11 through 15, and legendary is going to be at the tail end of you getting to level 20. So again, just an easy way for my character to be able to not only go up and attack somebody, but then use the feature to like grab somebody that's 10 feet away and start pulling them in so I can feed on them. Just a great idea in my opinion. I love this thing. It's so cool. So this stuff is all out of order because I didn't have it in order here, but the next item is going to be our rare item, which is the Gentleman's Rapier. Now, It does require attunement. This finely made handkerchief gives off a faint scent of lavender and vanilla. While attuned to the handkerchief, you simply you create a simple command word. As a bonus action, you speak the handkerchief's command word to change the handkerchief into a magical rapier. While wielding the rapier, you're considered proficient in wielding it, and you have a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this weapon. You can speak the command word to change it back into the handkerchief. Additionally, while wielding this rapier, you can use a bonus action to cast the Compelled Duel spell. You can't use this property again until the next dawn. So I just love the idea of getting, having a little conversation with somebody while we're getting ready to go into combat. And I just pull out this handkerchief and go, "You shall make a fine meal." And I dab my lips a bit and speak the command word, and all of a sudden, a rapier just comes out. That is freaking awesome. I love it so much. So that is going to be our rare item. Our very rare item is going to be another weapon called the Subulban Blade. And this item comes again from Griffon Saddlebags. I forgot to say, the Undertaker's Cloak comes from Loot Tavern, another great guy that I like to follow. His items are also amazing. I do not know where this item came from. I found it, and if somebody can tell me, I would happily give them the credit. It does say the art and shadow credits are right here, but I can't. I've looked them up by Google searching the name, and I cannot find them. So, but the Subulban Blade is another Griffon Saddlebag item, and this is really cool. So this is a scimitar, but it still has that finesse property to it, so I can use my dexterity. This toothed obsidian blade absorbs any blood that's left on it. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with a magic weapon. When you hit a creature that is not a construct, plant, or undead with this sword, that creature takes an extra 1d6 damage. If the sword has dealt necrotic damage in this way in the past hour, you can use an action to hold the sword aloft and speak its command word to summon a blood elemental, as if you had cast the Conjure Elemental spell. Once this property of the sword has been used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. A blood elemental uses the same statistics as a water elemental with the following changes. The blood elemental has resistance to necrotic damage in addition to its other resistances. The blood elemental's alignment is neutral evil. And when you hit, sorry, let me fix this real quick. When you hit with an attack using the sword while the blood elemental is under your control within 120 feet of you, the elemental regains a number of hit points equal to the necrotic damage dealt by the sword. Big thing here. So if we're starting to get our butts kicked, bring out that guy, go and take care of somebody that's a little weaker that we can handle, and he'll just keep bashing everybody, and we'll give him HP while he's doing it. Freaking awesome. This character with the items and feats and everything can almost become like this one-man wrecking crew because of his ability to move around the field and do what he does. I get a lot of Spawn-esque ideas from him for his ability to just take on so many and his speed and everything. But obviously he's, Spawn's his own creature altogether. But, and our last item, I feel like I'm a broken record here, but it is again from Griffon Saddlebags, and it's called the Skyletgreaves. These are freaking awesome. These legendary mithril greaves that feel weightless despite being made of metal. While wearing the boots, small jets of storming vapor pour from the sides when you move. While wearing the greaves, you're always under the effects of the jump spell, and your movement speed increases by 5 feet for a grand total of 55. And we can affect things 10 feet away with our cloak, and we have reach with our freaking maneuver. So we are so advantageous on the battlefield. Plus, if we dash, we ignore difficult terrain. This is amazing. Also, we have resistance to lightning and thunder damage. The greaves have 4 charges and regain 1d4 expended charges daily at dawn. While wearing the greaves, you can stomp the ground or tap your heels together as an action and expend one of their charges to create one of the following effects, or 2 charges to create both at the same time. Here's where it gets nasty. You summon a torrent of wind beneath your feet, propelling you forward. You gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover for 10 minutes. I can fly for 55 feet. Screw the terrain. I don't care what it's like. I don't care because I'm flying. I'm flying. I can summon the next ability. You can summon a battering whirlwind around you. Any creature within 5 feet of you must make a DC 17 strength saving throw. On a failed save, that creature takes 3d8 bludgeoning damage and is flung up to 20 feet away from you and knocked prone. If a target strikes an object, such as a wall or a floor, the target takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet it was thrown. If the target is thrown at another creature, that creature must succeed on a DC 17 dexterity throw, or take the same damage and be knocked prone. If the saving throw is successful, the creature takes half the bludgeoning damage and isn't flung away or knocked prone. So if we get a little overzealous, maybe, and we get surrounded and we're getting our butt kicked, let's just spend a couple of them charges and push everyone away. This character is so dope. Oh, never mind. That's the screen. I was like, oh gosh. But no, I am in love with Draven. I think he is such a cool character. You could say he's kind of like, oh well, you just made Blade, But I'm like, oh, Blade wishes he could do what I do. Come on, Blade wishes he could do what I do as Draven. Love this character. Loved it so much. I think this is what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to level the character up to level 20, give some cool feats, give some cool items, talk about how I want to play the character. So much fun with this character. I want to thank everybody that created this stuff, like Homebrew Lesbian, Griffon Saddlebags, all the people that I wasn't able to credit because I don't know who you are or who made it. If you do know, please send me a message, themochcreations@gmail.com, or comment below the video, and I will happily edit it and put in all the credit that you so righteously deserve, because wow, all this came together to make this amazing character, and Draven is just going to be an awesome character to play in the future. I hope I get to play him in an awesome like gothic style vampire hunter game, or like in a cult game where we can hunt down vampires, but we're hunting down other things too. It's a very classic trope that the children of vampires hunt down their vampire parents and stuff, but it's a fun trope because it makes a lot of sense. But guys, I want to thank you so much for checking out this video. If you did enjoy this video, please head on down to that like button. Make sure you hit it for me. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because while I can't give you a definite time when the next video is coming out, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed seeing these characters, I'm going to be bringing you these awesome characters to inspire you. And hopefully I'll have art for all the characters so I can, show you exactly how I want Draven and all these other cool characters to look. As soon as I get art for Draven, I will post it on social media. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I will catch you next time. And goodbye to all my mortals out there who have come to the world of D&D. This is Lord Moch signing off.